Hello everyone, welcome back to the Twitch Lounge. I'm Richard Lewis here at DreamHack, the 20th anniversary of Sweden's biggest esports event, and one of the biggest esports event in the world. And now I'm going to be talking about Hearthstone. Again, not my strong suit, but hopefully the guy I'm going to talk to is going to help me muddle through it. It is Freza from Fnatic. So, first thing, you're not actually competing here, which I was surprised about. You know, you're Swedish and DreamHack's a big deal, and you've been to DreamHacks in the past. So tell me about that. What happened?
Well, basically, me and my team kind of shift from the invites. I went to DreamHack Bucharest, and then he got to have this invite. And we tried getting through the qualifier, but my teammate Kaldi went 15 wins into the losers bracket, and then he lost to another player who was playing here, Farmer. So that's basically it. But I'm gonna be playing smaller tournaments they're having here, DreamHack tournaments. Kind of small, but they're okay.
Is it upsetting for you? Because obviously I know going to DreamHack Bucharest, I mean, that was great. It was a big event, very important for Hearthstone historically. But you're Swedish, so did you kind of want to compete here maybe and thought, you know, I'm a Swede, let me have this?
Yeah, for sure. This is my home ground, you know. Yeah. And since I kind of wanted to keep up the reputation from last time I competed here, I got through the open qualifier. So yeah, that's kind of it.
So there's a lot of changes in Hearthstone at the moment. Lots of things on the horizon. I know that we're going to finally get a spectator, mode in the client. So tell me about how important that is for the future of the game, in your opinion.
That's really huge. If you compare it to StarCraft and everything, all those tournaments wouldn't have any esport at all without a spectator mode. So hopefully that will change a lot with tournaments and the new cards, of course.
Yeah, we'll come to those in a second. I mean, the spectator mode. I mean, I've said this a million times. I'm always amazed that Hearthstone has become so popular as a esport and a spectator esport with no spectator mode. It just seems to be successful despite itself almost. So do you think we'll see more tournaments coming once the spectator mode is implemented?
Yeah, for sure. Not only that, all the tournaments that are going on right now, that is going to keep doing tournaments, it's going to be easier to produce as well.
So let's talk about new cards as well in the upcoming expansion. I gotta say, I don't understand Hearthstone very well. I play casually, but some of them look ridiculous. Just some of the ones I've seen revealed, it's a lot of them look really potentially overpowered. Yeah. What do you think of the current balance of the cards you've seen? Well,
from looking at some cards, there's so many kind of different mech synergies that you can use for mid-range and kind of aggro-ish decks. So I think maybe some of them is gonna get changed before they release them, but I don't know, some of them is really gonna destroy the game in some way.
Give me some examples. What would you change if you could?
I don't actually know the specific names of the cards because there's so many, but I know there's a 1 mana 2/1 mech card that gives you a spare card when it dies. That's has a lot of synergy with the current aggro decks, which runs Undertaker and Leopard Gnome, which is another addition to that, which is really strong. And then there's other examples, I know there's a 2/2, and if you have another mech on board, it's buffs it for 2/2, and then it's a 2 mana. That's 4/4 in stats with mech synergy. That's really overpowered as well.
I mean, I gotta say though, I'm looking forward to some new cards. I thought for a long time the game's been really stale, stagnant. You see the same kind of decks and the same kind of strategies, I think, over and over again. Was that a concern for you as a pro player? You were coming up against the same types of deck?
Yeah, for sure. When everybody's playing the same kind of decks, it gets kind of repetitive, and it's not as fun to watch. But now when they're gonna release more cards, there's gonna be so much more potential with the old cards as well.
Do you have any new strategies and new ideas for decks that you're going to run up your sleeve? Anything you can kind of tell us about?
I know for sure that I'm gonna make a control hunter with a new hunter legendary.
Okay.
Which is gonna be really exciting, because there's so many different hunter cards, like late game cards that haven't really been used, because you would rather run like a late game warrior deck because they have so much more removal and everything. But now that like hunter is getting such an addition to their late game, I think like a hunter late game deck would really be fun to play.
Well, you've used hunter before in other tournaments, right? So
yeah.
I researched you. I did a little bit of reading. I mean, there was a lot of changes and nerfs to the kind of hunter deck, which seemed, you know, to kind of maybe make it drop out of favour a little bit. So, talk us through that, the kind of where you think hunter is positioned at the moment.
Well, people have been going on like back and forth with hunter since like the beta, and like with the changes of Buzzard and the Unleash card, like. People always think that as soon as they nerf a card, the deck is almost like unplayable. It was the same with the Starving Buzzard. Like the EU BlizzCon qualifier phase 2 got played right after the Leroy and the Buzzard nerf, so nobody was playing Hunter there. But when like a week later, all the NA players in the NA BlizzCon qualifier played Hunter because they had like a week of ladder, and everybody just immediately understand that like it's just another like draw power. You can play like a loot hoarder instead that has even synergy with Undertaker.
So I mean, what about though kind of strategies overall? Like, what would you say is, if you were, I don't know, a pick up and play kind of player, like what would you say is the strongest deck to kind of ladder with right now?
Well, right now, hard to say. I really like Priest at the moment, because you know it's really easy to deal with all the aggro decks that people play, because they want fast games on the ladder, of course, to rank up fast, and all the like easy decks to play like Hunter and Sue. So Priest is a good counter to that.
So, well, let's talk about that actually, because I was going to ask you some questions about aggro, and you know, like you say, everyone's playing aggro decks. You know, there's just an abundance of them. You know, even at my level of being terminally terrible at the game, you know, when you're laddering, you see so much kind of, you know, so many aggro decks. So, tell us about the mechanics of playing against an aggro deck. Like, how do you beat an aggro deck?
Well, you kind of want as many different kind of board sweeps as you can, but it's kind of hard now because of all the death rattle that came out in Naxxramas, like Haunted Creeper, and people even play like what's called Harvest Golem to have more synergy with the Undertaker as well. So I don't know, I really like I said, I like Priest. You have the Pyromancer, and you have like the Arcanite Circle, and you have the Holy Nova, and then you have like different synergies with the Pyromancer as Power Shield and Smite and stuff.
I've seen a lot of people complaining about the Undertaker cards. Again, when I'm looking at Reddit and YouTube videos and all that other stuff, what are your thoughts on it? I mean, people are saying it needs to be nerfed and changed. I mean, what are your thoughts?
Well, it's definitely overpowered, of course, but I feel like it's not gonna be as overpowered when the next expansion comes out. So I think Blizzard is just gonna wait and see what happens with the meta until the next expansion, because it's so like they said a month. What was it, like 6th and 7th of November? So it's coming up soon, I guess.
We'll see how it all pans out. So we can talk a bit more about DreamHack now. I mean, I haven't seen the full competitors list, so I don't know all of the players that are competing here. But, I mean, the thing that I find interesting about Hearthstone is there never seems to be one player that really dominates on the circuit, you know? It's different winners all the time, people have good runs, players come from nowhere, and you're like, wow, like, it's incredible. So tell us about some of the players that we should watch here at this event. I mean, who do you think is going to win, first of all?
Well, obviously my teammate Calde is going to win.
Oh yeah, obligatory, got to say that.
Well, you should definitely watch people like the Tempo Storm guys are really on spot and good, and Colento, he's been like one of those guys that always is everywhere and almost wins everything, if not his second or third.
Yeah.
And 6-0 for sure, 6-0. He's always like top legend and first legend and everything, wins every qualifier. and there's this like different kind of people like Dog, who got through the qualifier. He hasn't really been playing that much in the scene lately. He played at Sea Story Cup in Germany, but other from that, he hasn't really been playing in tournaments. So I think he's gonna do well because he qualified as well. He didn't get invited.
Any other like dark horses, low-level players that you think have got the potential to really, get a run through the tournament and upset anyone?
I'm not sure. There are like some people that I have never seen before, either play or in person, like Cypher or Marcito, or like all other people that qualified as well. Maybe they are like, you should definitely like watch for them as well, because obviously people haven't seen them before. They might have like something new to bring and something that the players that are invited are not prepared for. Because obviously they qualified, so they must have been doing something right.
Must have been doing something right, exactly. So what about you then? I mean, you kind of just here to enjoy it, watch the event, hang out. What are your plans kind of after DreamHack? Where are you going to be competing? What tournaments are you going to be playing in?
Well, there are some tournaments that are not announced that I'm going to be competing in, but I mean, there are like some minor tournaments here in DreamHack that I'm going to be playing in. Hopefully I can have some just fun and play some Hearthstone there.
Yeah. But what about what about your stream? Are you going to be doing any streaming or anything like that?
I might stream. We'll see though. It's like very hard to find a computer here.
Well, there's a load over there. I don't know what you're talking about. You just got to kick the StarCraft players off them. That's it.
Yeah, I guess.
You've got to man up and tell them, my game's better. Well, look, it's been great to talk to you. I don't do a lot of Hearthstone interviews, but I know the guys in Fnatic and I've done for a great time, so they hooked me up with you. I hope you enjoy your time here at DreamHack. It's a shame you're not competing, but it means you can get to the bar across the road and have some fun. Any final plugs or shout-outs, anyone?
Well, shout-out to my team and Caldi, who's playing in this tournament here, and and our sponsors, of course.
Do you remember them? Do you remember them all?
Don't put me in this spot, man. MSI, Azubu, Steel Series, King of Shaves, and others.
Well done, excellent work. So yeah, that was Freza taking in the sights and sounds here at DreamHack Winter. Don't go anywhere, we're going to take a quick break and then we'll be back with another interview from here at the Twitch Lounge.